I have shown several types of SSDs with various formats and storage capacities, and one of the best M.2 SSDs, the Samsung 980 Pro with 2 TB of capacity. But today I'm going to show you a versatile M.2 SSD with potential. But first, subscribe to the channel because I post new videos every week. This is the WesternDigital PC SN520 NVMe M.2 SSD, an SSD with TLC technology that offers a balance between performance and efficiency. This M.2 module has a 2280 format with a length of 80 mm, with a PCIe Express 3 interface that should have a sequential read speed of 1700 MB per second and a sequential write speed of 1300 MB per second. But I'm going to do a speed test of this M.2 SSD to prove the real speed. This SSD has 2 notches or keys on the connector that allows compatibility with M.2 slots that support M keys or B keys, thus making it compatible with different M.2 connectors. Although the SSD has a B and a M connection, the computer will only have either an M.2 B connection or an M.2 M connection, due to the position of the M.2 slot notch on the computer. The SSD M.2 B connection uses the computer's SATA interface, which can reach a maximum speed of 500 MB per second, but the M.2 M connection uses the computer's PCIe Express interface, which can reach speeds between 1500 and 7000 MB per second. Mounting an M.2 SSD in the computer is a very simple task. Open the computer and find where the computer's M.2 connection is. Generally, this slot is identified as M.2 and only allows the M.2 module to be placed in one position. Place the SSD on the computer's M.2 connection and put the screw to secure the SSD module. And that's it. The SSD M.2 is installed in the computer and it's ready to be used. I'm going to do the test under the best conditions to see what is the maximum possible speed. You can see that the sequential read speed of this SSD was 1585 MB per second, almost the 1700 MB per second that the manufacturer says this SSD can reach, but only 60% of the maximum possible speed of this PCIe Express 3 interface. But 1600 MB per second of read speed is good for any task you need to do on the computer. The result of the sequential write test was 486 MB per second, around 40% of the speed announced by the manufacturer, and 30% of the maximum speed it could have. Although it is below expectations, it still have a good speed for a normal computer. These were the results of sequential reading and writing tests under the best conditions, with 1.6 GB per second of file reading and 500 MB per second of file writing. But under normal computer use conditions, the speed will be lower. Although the test result is not the best for an M.2 SSD, the result is good for a normal computer. But this is not an SSD that I recommend for anyone who wants to have a very good computer. And you should choose an SSD with at least 1 TB of capacity. But now, subscribe to the channel because I post new videos every week. And if you have any questions, write in the comments.